JavaScript arrays have a wealth of methods that can be used for working with them. In this tutorial, we will look at one of those methods. Find can be used for locating and extracting values from an array. Welcome to another tutorial from All Things JavaScript. As always, make sure to click that bell button and subscribe. And remember to check out the discount links to all of my courses in the description. I really appreciate the support. And if you'd like, there are other ways to support the channel, which are linked to in the description as well. And finally, if you're collecting script, the social money for All Things JavaScript, look for a link in the description to learn and collect. Now, there are so many different ways to locate values in an array. There are loops, index of can be used. You can also use reduce and filter or for each to iterate over the array. One method that sometimes gets overlooked, though, is the find method. Find allows you to pass in a testing function, a callback, that is used to process each element in the array and return the value of the first element that matches the criteria. Let's look at a couple of examples to see how it can be used. All right, I have a simple array here. I'm going to use this one to first illustrate how find works. And then we'll use a little bit more complex array, which provides, I think, a better example for when you may want to use find. So first off, find is a method of arrays. So scores.find is how we would access it. Scores is the array, .find to access. And then inside of parentheses, we need to pass in a function. Now this particular function will be applied to each element of the array. So we pass in a function to find, and then find executes the function once for each index in the array until that callback, that function, returns a truthy value, meaning a value that can be coerced to true. If you're unfamiliar with truthy and falsy, I'll leave a link in the description of a tutorial that will talk about that. But basically, that's what it does. It runs until it finds a value that matches the criteria that we include in our function. So let's look at how we would do that. Now, I'm going to use an arrow function here because it makes the most sense when we're passing in callback functions to a method like this. So I need to have a parameter, a variable, that each of these elements is going to be placed into. I'm just going to call that element. Now here's our arrow function to indicate this is a function. And now we want to enter the criteria. What criteria do we want to use for making a match? And I'm going to look for an element that is greater than 90. Okay, something simple like that. Now, as soon as it finds something that matches this criteria, which should be this 100, it's going to return it. So we need to have a variable to place it in out here, something like that. All right, so if we save that and refresh and open the console here, we can look at score, and it contains a value of 100. So it was returned to that variable. Right here, it was returned to the score variable. So that's basically how find works. You need to pass in a function. That function is applied to each element of the array until a match is found, and then it stops at that point. So as soon as we found this match here, it stopped. It did not continue on to this value. All right, now I'm going to copy in another array, and this one will be a little bit more complex, but mostly it's going to provide an example where find, I think, is most useful. And that's when we have a situation of an array of objects, and we want to find a specific object in that array and pull it out and use it for whatever. And so this is a great example of when you would use this. So let's go ahead and set that up. I'm going to set a variable user. That's what's going to contain the object that we find with the find method. and then users.find. And then once again, inside of the parentheses, I need to enter the function. So if I use element as the parameter again for storing each element, in this case they will be objects. So this time as it iterates through, it's going to be each one of these objects. Here's my arrow, and then what do I want to check? Well, I want to get a specific object. Let's say I want to get the Eliza object, the one with that as the name. So I can do element.name. I'm going to do 2 lowercase just to be more sensitive about the case here. And then I want to check to see if it's equal to Eliza. And so as soon as it finds that, it's going to return it and place it in that variable. As long as I put an assignment operator there, it'll place it in this variable. And then let's just log to the console the user like that. All right, so now when we refresh, we get Eliza showing up. It found that. Now, one thing I want to show really quick here that is kind of neat, and that's destructuring. This is a great example of when to use destructure. I'm going to do the same exact thing here, but I'm going to use destructuring to make it just a little simpler. Now, if you're not familiar with destructuring, I'll include a link to that as well. And once again, if you're not familiar with arrow functions, I'll include a link in the description. So I've done tutorials on all these things, and you can find links to that in the description. So here's how we could use destructuring. I'm just going to remove that as my parameter. I'm going to put parentheses there, and then inside of parentheses I'm going to put the curly braces which indicate destructuring, and I'm going to put name. Now what that is going to do is each time an object is placed here, it's going to destructure that. It's going to pull the value out of the name property. That's what is happening. And so we just get the value out of that. Then I can simply do this, name.2 lowercase equal Eliza. And so it simplifies our statement a bit. So if I save that and refresh, we still get the same object. So that works great for us. Now, one additional thing I want to show here is that this callback function can have a number of different parameters that are passed in. We were passing in the element, but we can also pass in the index and receive the index position for that element, and we can pass in the entire array in case we need to act on that entire array. So let's look at that really quick. I'm going to do the same example again, but this time I'm just going to do users.find, and I'm going to do a regular function this time because I have multiple elements. I want to do several console logs, and I just think it's cleaner. So here are the parameters that are going to accept those additional values. LM will accept that element. Index is the index number, and then array, that will be the entire array. Now here's what I'm going to do is just log to the console LM. I'll just log each of these to the console. And then finally, like that. Now let me comment out that console log statement so we just have these ones showing up. All right, now when I refresh this, you can see as it goes through each of those elements in the array. Here's the element, here's the index, and then there's the full array. Element, index, full array. Element, index, full array. So you have additional things you can pass into that callback function if you choose to. And that can help in certain situations. You may need more information in order to process or to work with what you're doing. All right, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And remember the discount links to all my courses in the description section. I appreciate that support. Click the bell button to be notified about new releases. I release a new tutorial each week. And if you'd like to learn about script, see the link in the description as well. And once again, thanks for watching.